a grinder, but I'm happy to say I did it. I completed my goal, hitting. What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing a mock meet. I'm at the end of my training cycle with Evolve AI. After my last meet, which was late April of 2024, didn't have a great meet. I decided to keep my training going pretty much the same way that I had been all along, because it was just one of those things where it was just a bad day at the meet. So progressing on, things are going pretty well. The only thing is that I got sick. We got sick in this household my Christmas Eve, and for myself the day after Christmas, and we've all been sick, trying to recover from all of that. Up until that point, I had actually been bulking, gaining some weight, so that way I can see how strong I could be when I did my mock meet today. But unfortunately, getting sick, I had lost my appetite, wasn't able to keep up with my nutrition. I was at 240 pounds, which was my heaviest for quite a long time, but that was kind of my target, to be just under the next weight class. So technically I could go to 242 point something. So I was at 240, but I lost like 7 pounds. I regained maybe 3 or 4 pounds of that so far, but with that I also lost a lot of muscle weight. No excuses. Even though I feel pretty good today and training has been going pretty well, technically speaking, I'm probably overreaching on my third squat. But this is actually a number I should have hit at my last competition in April of last year, 9 months ago. So if that was the case and I had a good day, and technically speaking, 9 months later, I should be able to hit that and then some. So I'm going to go for 419. I'll just round it up to 420 with the collars, and not competition collars, but they add up and they account for something. So I'm going to go for 419, see how that goes. Wish me luck. But then after that, I'm going to continue with the rest of my mock meet. I'll do bench next. I'm going to do my warm-ups, attempt 3 lifts, then I'll move on to deadlifts, where I'm hoping to hit another PR there as well. The only question and doubt I have really is with bench. Bench has been kind of a sticking point for me, where I've struggled to get my third lift attempt completed for one reason or another. Shoulder pain, elbow tendonitis, whatever the case is. Even though things have been progressing well, as I get heavier and I get closer to peak, the pain starts to come back and starts to prevent me from really reaching my goals. I hit 290 back in May of 2022. So we're almost 3 years later, and I have been unable to come close to that or exceed that, which is really crazy to me. Almost 3 years and I'm still not able to hit the PR that I hit back then. But I'm really hoping I can do that today. So my goal for my third bench will be 292, and I'll see how it goes. I don't have a lot of faith, but I'm going to run the Jedi mind trick on myself, see if I can get somewhere with that and get that bench. And then for deadlift, I'm hoping to hit a new PR to finally hit 200 kilos on my deadlift. Last competition, I had a PR where I hit 195, I believe it was. So 430. So I'm looking to hit 200 even. Deadlifts have been going well. They have been the best lift so far of this last training cycle. Although my form had struggled early on, I really feel like I've kind of ticked that box and checked that off and have been doing better. Filming myself from more of a side angle, really focusing on the glutes and the tension, pulling the slack from the bar, and really trying to use that leg drive into the ground to pull. Feeling pretty positive about hitting that 200 kilo mark today. We'll see. I have to keep my energy up. After this last squat, I'm going to eat so I can prepare myself just like I would at a meet, have some lunch before bench press, and we'll see how it goes. Enough ranting, let's get on with it. All right, well, I'm back. And that was a squeaker, a grinder. But I'm happy to say I did it. I completed my goal, hitting 419. I'll round up, like I said, to 420 with the collars. It may not have been pretty, but it was successful. So, pat myself on the back. Attaboy. I'm happy to have done that. I was really having doubts going into that third lift, and I questioned pulling the weight back by 2.5 kilos and going for 187.5 instead of 190. I'm glad I didn't do that and didn't doubt myself. So that's good for the momentum to keep things going. But let's do just that, keep it going. Let's move on to bench. All right, as suspected, I failed miserably on bench press. 281.2, I think it is, or 127.5 kilos. Just couldn't get it up. I don't know at this point if I should give up on bench altogether. Obviously, if this were a meet, I could increase, but since I didn't get that because of strength and not technicality, I would try this weight again. All right, so deadlift one is done. It's already 4 in the afternoon. I think I'm taking a little too long to get through all of my 3 lifts, but I'm trying to do it and plan it out the way it would be if I were an actual meet with other competitors going through the cycle. But I am running out of gas, and that was more difficult than it should have been, so we'll see. Instead of going to 190, I jumped up to 187.5. We'll see if I get this. I think if I do, sadly, I kind of doubt that I'll be able to do anything else beyond that. But we'll give it a shot. All right, well, that concludes my mock meet. Sadly, it ended with a failure, a failed lift, a deadlift at 197.5, which would have been a PR. You might have seen the 2 yellow plates, the 2 15-kilo plates, out against the rack because originally I was going to go for 200. But on my second attempt, the deadlifts, I knew I just didn't have that in the tank. And obviously, missing the final at 197.5 proved that. Disappointed, for sure. If I want to spin this in a positive way and see the glass half full, perspective is that coming back from illness for the last couple of weeks since the day after Christmas, having not had an appetite, having lost 7 pounds and a decent amount of muscle weight in that because I just didn't have the appetite to eat the way I normally would, it's actually pretty good results considering. I gained about 3 or 4 pounds back, but obviously it wasn't enough. However, I'm satisfied. I got my second attempt. I did hit a PR on squats for 419, 420. So I'm really happy with that. Bench continues to be a problem with pain in the elbows where I'm unable to control the weight descent down to my chest because of the pain in the elbow. I really don't know what that's about, but it is what it is. Going back to the drawing board, just continue practicing and trying to improve technique and see if I can get past that with some rehab. But all in all, satisfied with the way things went, even though it ended disappointingly. But we'll see what the numbers actually add up to in terms of total weights, dots, that kind of thing. I'm not optimistic that it's going to be anything better than the last time, even though I PR'd squats, because my final deadlift was just below my last PR, and I missed my second and third bench. It might be kind of flushed, evened out. I'll post that on a screenshot, if you will, with some numbers just so you can see. But that's it. That's all I have for this mock meet. On to the next one. I begin a new training cycle on Monday. Today's Saturday. However, it does give me a good idea of where I can make some improvements, like with the meals, making sure I plan my meals out a little bit better, making sure I can sustain that energy, because I was starting to feel a little flat after my first deadlift and doubting that I was going to have the energy to finish, not just the strength, but the energy. That's one thing I can definitely do better, and that's the purpose of a mock meet. It'll give you some ideas of where you're failing and where you're doing well. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, as always, feel free to drop that in the comment section below. I appreciate your support as always, and I'll catch you on the next one.